Hi guys, welcome back on this absolutely beautiful day. It's a little bit windy, but our baby goats are enjoying the sunshine. Of course, if I can find them in the viewfinder, let me zoom out a bit. I am playing a little bit with this new camera that I have. It's technically a new phone, which means it's a new camera. So if the coloring seems off, or if the sound is off, or if the video looks a little off, it's because I'm playing with the settings and trying to find the best thing. I want to maximize your viewing pleasure, of course. Look at the waggy tails when they nurse. Oh, he stopped wagging. He's fired. Persephone, your boys are getting too big to nurse. Now you're wagging. You're fired. There we go. Waggy, waggy, waggy. But everybody's out here. Everybody's happy. Everybody's playing around. The babies have started to find their new families. So if you're on my contact list for baby goats, you should have received an email from me several days ago now at this point, letting you know what's available, who's available, and giving you some descriptions of their personalities to the best of my ability. This little one. What are you doing? So I'm excited to report that quite a few have found their homes already. Shockingly, the two little doelings are still available, which is dangerous because I am really close to keeping Ren's doeling, and that would be bad. So save me from myself. Sock Monkey's little boys have found a home, and I'm excited about that. JC's boys have found a home. Super excited about that. And one each of Persephone and Misty's babies have found homes. So really in good shape from that perspective. They'll all go home mid to end of May, so sort of could be a Mother's Day present. And their journey from here is actually pretty easy for most of them. So as it turns out, all of the boys so far are going to become wethers, and that's fine. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I've talked to you about that before. I'd much rather them be weathered and have a fabulous home than try and make a few extra dollars to sell them as a buck, and then they're not as loved as they deserve to be. So I have zero problem weathering them. So these guys have all been disbudded. Obviously, they've all been born. You all know I took their registration photos, so I've got registration photos. I've got to get those registrations sent in so they get officially registered. So they will have their registration certificates done. That's all admin on me. They need to start being vaccinated, so the older kids are just about ready for their first round of vaccinations. The younger kids are a few weeks away. They'll get 2 sets of vaccinations. They've already gotten their selenium supplement, which is all they need for that perspective, and that happens right after they're born. I just love when they're napping like this. It's just so great. It's fun when they're bouncing around, but it's also so sweet when they're napping. They will be microchipped. We used to tattoo our goats. Of course, that was the only way to really identify them. I still have my tattoo kit. Certainly, I'm still willing and able to tattoo goats, but it isn't really necessary anymore now that microchips are accepted as a form of ID. So microchips are much easier. They're just an injection one time, just like it's actually the same microchip that your dog or cat would get. So I do that. And I also will castrate our boys. And the boys won't be castrated until the day or two before they go home. That gives them the most time to sort of grow, gives their urinary tract enough time to develop, and just get them going a little bit in terms of making sure that they're not stunted on their urinary tract development by reducing the testosterone in their system. But it also means, they're castrated young enough that they don't become stinky bucks. They don't exhibit bucky behavior. They'll all still hump each other. I mean, that's just what they do. But they won't pee on themselves. They won't do all the things that make stinky bucks stinky bucks. And I know I'm zoomed in on absolutely no action whatsoever, but come on, look at these boys and girls. So these are sock monkeys, 2 little boys toward the back there, and in the front is Wren's babies, the buckling and doeling, I think. Yeah, okay. I had to see her for a second. She looked different for half a second. So they are in a sunbeam cuddle puddle at the moment. There's a lot of action happening behind me, so let me see what's going on back there. We know these 2 are still napping. Here's Misty and her babies. They're the youngest in the group, so they're still hanging pretty close to mom. And Persephone's babies, who are fully off of crate rest now and back in action. Persephone is quite happy to be done with them for a while. All right, here. I love how Fanta is right up against the fence line so she can be near her herd. The rest of the girls are out in the pasture. Did you lay down? Oh, you're eating something, huh? Are you having a little snacky poo? What'd you find? Little goat nibbles are the best. So yeah, so they really don't have much of a journey. It's a lot of work on my end to get everybody ready to go. And if you've purchased a goat from me before, you know that before you pick them up, you get a whole email from me of supplies I recommend and, you know, what they're eating now and what, you know, you might want to pick up to have on hand. So you get everything you need to take these babies home, including the babies. And that is how I do things. I much prefer the expenditures, the admin, the work to all be on my side. Look at this. These babies have just absolutely melted. Look at that. You can't beat that. And I'll give you a perspective, right? It's not expensive to register goats. They're $15 each to register them. The vaccines, let's assume, I have to buy the syringes, I have to buy the needles, I have to buy the vaccines. They get 2 doses, so it's 2 syringes, 2 needles per goat. Those, I don't know. Let's call that a total of a couple of dollars. Microchips are expensive. Microchips are about $10 a piece. So add that up. Plus, of course, the food, hay, and everything else to keep up with them. The selenium, same thing. It's 1 needle, 1 syringe, plus the selenium. So I don't know, add another $1 to that, right? Castration, we do all the work ourselves, but I have to buy the castration bands. Again, we're talking pennies here, but it still has to be done. And of course, I had to buy the equipment to do it. Same thing with disbudding. Disbudding doesn't really have a consumable aspect of it, but I had to buy the disbudding box. I had to buy the disbudding iron. I use the silver nitrate as bandages for their little heads. So maybe that's the consumable. But again, in the scheme of costs, it's pennies on the dollar. After the investment has been recouped, they're starting to melt back here too. Our little man has just absolutely melted, and his sister is going to step on his head. So, if you don't want to talk about the care, the time, the feeding, the taking care of moms, the investment that I put into them in that sense, then the actual investment in dollars and cents is probably about, well, again, 50, 75 max in consumables. That includes that registration. And again, registration, microchip probably being the most expensive parts of it. Not charging for labor, not charging for my time to do all that. And just think about feed. Feed is about $30 a bag. And that's for the grain that they get. And, it's feeding moms that are able to feed the babies. So, keep that in mind. We have our emergency vet visit that we had this year. That was quite the expense. And hey, right? They get lots and lots of hay. And hay at this point is about $6 to $7 a bale. And that is less expensive for me because I do grow it on the farm. If it were, something that I didn't grow here and had to buy outright, it would be a few dollars more per bale. And we can go through a bale every 2.5 days. Especially with kids starting to eat it, we'll start going through a bale almost every other day. Easy. So I just wanted to give you some perspective on like what goes into these guys aside from all the socialization that we do, all of the care, all the love, right? Well, I'm not even talking about overhead, like having the barn and the electricity and the heat lamps, the barn cameras. It's not a way to become a millionaire. And I never wanted it to be. I didn't get into it for that, right? I got into this for the love of the breed, for the love of bringing rare breeds back into this world, to focus on that, to focus on education. A little bit of it keeps me out of trouble because I stay busy all the time and can't get into other naughty things, whatever they might be, right? I'm not shopping. I'm not going out. So I'm not complaining in the least, and I'm not telling you this because I want you to feel sorry for me or anything else. I don't. It would help if I keep goats in frame. I'm telling you this because I want you to have some perspective as you're thinking about getting into your own goat breeding program or getting into any animal breeding program. It is not a money-making prospect unless you are doing it in a commercial fashion. And a commercial fashion means high volume, low touch, right? Everything automated, everything done in multiple rounds per year. You have, a herd of 100 goats and you have 50 does pregnant every year, and that means you're having 100 plus babies every year. Yeah, then you can make some money. And that's even on the small scale. That certainly isn't the scale of a commercial operation. But if you really want to be a focused breeder, my opinion anyway, is this is the way to do it, right? I know my animals. I lay hands on each and every one of them every day. I socialize them if I'm lucky, and we get an even amount of boys and girls as in terms of babies for the year. Sometimes I can break even, and that's all I'm looking for. Sometimes. This year is not going to be a break-even year, and that is perfectly fine. It's not going to be a break-even year because we have lots of boys, and boys are a little less expensive than girls. We also had a vet bill. And one vet bill, even if you have more girls, will wipe them out. I hope you guys are checking out these two little boys that are absolutely done. Sock Monkey's boys are the sweetest little boys. I'm going to end it there because you know what? This is why I do it. This is the joy I get out of it. I don't know if you're having as much fun as I am, but it warms my heart just to see them melting in the sun, laying together as twins. Look at him with his feet up on his twin. They're not bothered by anything. That's my life. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be kind, and I will see you at the next one. Bye for now.